How are you? Hello to Nicole, Jane, and Catherine that are here so far. I wore my tiara, my birthday tiara. I was going to wear my tutu today, pardon me, but I'm eating a cream puff because, birthday thing. I was going to wear my tutu, but hey, the weather here is ridiculous as an understatement. So, hello, Elaine. Um, I left my house about 20 minutes ago to come down here. And before I left my house, it was raining about half an hour ago. And then 20 minutes ago, it was sunny. The weather is 4 degrees Celsius. So it's cold for Vancouver. And so I decided, one, I was going to switch up my plans last minute. I had like plan A, plan B, even plan C, because our weather's been so unpredictable today. And so at the last minute, literally 20 minutes ago, I switched locations for the tour because plan A was going to be downtown and outside a lot. And we just had hail 5 minutes ago. So when I say the weather's a little unpredictable today, I'm not kidding. It is ridiculous. So I came down here and I ordered a cream puff. If you're on my Facebook, I put a picture of the cream puff and the coffee. And this is a Ferrero Rocher cream puff. I know, typical West Coast. Like, it's ridiculous. So I came home last night. I shut my window in my apartment because it was cold. And I turned the heat up. And I literally had just put away my winter jacket for the season. And then had to pull it out again this morning. So I'm like, I could not go outside in this weather. So I was going to wear like a tutu, my tiara, all that stuff. But I had to actually pull my leggings that have the polar fleece on the inside out of my closet to wear today because I didn't want to freeze to death in case I ended up outside. We will be a mix of like inside, outside, and just kind of hanging out, having fun today. As you saw, this is my birthday celebration, and a lot of the guys on Hago, either on their birthday or in their first year or second year anniversary, they do like a Q&A, question and answer, get to know your guys. Oh, yeah, the weather is crazy today. So my anniversary for Hago technically is November, but my first tour was in December a year and a bit ago. So December was kind of crazy to do like a full Q&A thing. So here I am, literally on my birthday, hanging out with all you wonderful people and doing a tour. So, hey Marty, you're going to hang out with me. Anything you've ever wanted to know about me, go ahead and ask me. Can't say I'll answer. Depends on what your questions are. Thank you, Tess. But definitely, maybe there's things you've wanted to know, like where did I grow up, or like what are my hobbies besides the obvious ones that you hear about here on Hago. I don't know, like what's my proudest accomplishment, or I don't know, what jobs have I had, or what's my favorite color, or whatever it is that there could be any kind of question I don't even know, what you might want to know about me. Go ahead and ask today. I am going to take the tiara off. Ooh, that's a good one, Tess. What are my favorite cafes and restaurants in Vancouver? Oh, and the other thing I like to know is, where is everybody? Where in the world are you? No exact address, obviously. But tell me, like, maybe what city you're in or something like that. I just kind of like to know. So where did I grow up? I grew up in North Vancouver, so just across the water from downtown Vancouver, and I lived there till I was 29. Best restaurants and cafes. So if I don't get to your question, just re-ask it, because oh cool, because I feel like the chat could go quickly today. Favorite restaurant. Um, Favorite restaurants are. Thank you, thank you. I love Rogue Restaurant at Waterfront Station in downtown Vancouver. They also have a location on Broadway and near Broadway and Canby, and it's kind of got a little like for everybody. So I often go there for a birthday celebration because you got your vegan, your vegetarian. They can do gluten free. Um, they have burgers, they have salads, they have wraps. Um, they have jambalaya. They have some Cajun chicken type dishes. Thank you, Catherine. I also like Chewy's Oyster Bar, which is where I went last night with my friends, and we did a whole. Chewy's is kind of a New Orleans, Vancouver fusion restaurant. I'm gonna sip my latte while we chat. Hope you poured yourself a drink of some kind, a coffee or something, and joined me. Maybe even, I don't know, I might have had ice cream for breakfast today. Other restaurants in Vancouver that I love. You never go wrong with Cactus Club. It's kind of a local chain here. It's now across Canada. Same kind of thing. I just like restaurants where you can go and kind of hang out and everybody has something, except there is two restaurants. One is called East is East, and it's more of a Mediterranean restaurant, and you can do this whole tasting menu. I think if you do it, everybody at the table has to order it, and it's like $40 or $45, and you can order all this. You kind of order a set thing at the beginning, and then after that, you can just try any dish in the place, and they have live music, and there's like a whole kind of Middle Eastern groove to it. Super cool. That's East is East up on Main. And then my other favorite place is called the Eatery, and it's a Japanese restaurant on Broadway, further out on Broadway. And it's got like this kind of surfer eclectic theme. There's like surfboards everywhere and kind of that whole tiki feel. And there's sushi. It's all different flavors. They make art flavors. That's the right. That's the wrong word. Anyways, they create their own sushi dishes and things like that. And there's just like crazy options you can eat. Always a good time. Kind of a pricier sushi restaurant, but really, really yummy. And that's one of my favorites as well. So that's Rogue, East is East, and the Eatery for my favorite restaurants. Vancouver has the best dim sum. Yeah, I haven't done dim sum yet. I got to find the right group to go with. Where am I today? So originally I was going to head downtown to Hornby Street where they have Bauberg Paris, and I was going to go get a coffee and a couple of macarons and stuff. And then I was going to walk around Vancouver, but this weather is just insane. So instead today, we are actually down at Granville Island. It's close to my home. There's a lot of different places to go. We can walk around the market. I feel like I need some macarons for today. We'll walk around. I'll show you the island. And there's a lot of different things we can do, different places we can walk around from here as well. So, in fact, one of my favorite places to get a burger is down here at Granville Island Market. And they just have their burgers are just amazing. And I don't even know why. Maybe it's their ingredients, maybe it's the things they put on it, the way they cook it. It's one of those places that feels like they definitely cook it just for you and make it fresh and all of that kind of stuff. Am I having birthday cake? I just had a Ferrero Rocher cream puff instead of birthday cake this morning. Um, there's a picture of it on my Facebook. I'll have birthday cake at my family dinner tomorrow night, so I thought I'd ease up on the birthday cake. Also, I try to be a little bit careful because if you've been on my tours before, you know I am type 2 diabetic. I've got it under control and I'm in the process of reversing it. But the program I'm with allows us to kind of have crazy days every now and then as long as we reel ourselves back in for the rest of the week. So today is like, I can be crazy for the morning while we're doing tours, and then I have to be good for the rest of the day. And then tomorrow I have to be good all day, but then at my family dinner, I can do whatever I want. And then Monday, I feel like I'm going to go for a nice long walk. And I usually fast for about 12 hours a day, every day at least. So nighttime, I just, 10 o'clock at night-ish to 10 a.m. I don't eat, generally speaking, unless I get starvingly hungry, that I do, because you're not supposed to starve yourself either. So it's kind of a good balance here. We're going to sit for a few minutes and chat, and then we'll get up and we'll get going and we'll wander down to Granville Island. I'll try and get you guys some good shots of around here. Now it is very gray because it's raining. So I apologize if the picture quality isn't the best for today's tour, but we'll have some fun. We'll see the island. We'll wander the market. I'll tell you some stories. I'm trying to think of like, what kind of stories would you guys like to hear about me? Like, do you want to hear about some of the places I've traveled to? Or do you want to hear about like, I don't know, some memories from growing up or some of the fun and ridiculous things I've done in my life? Yeah. It's raining and gloomy in the Fraser Valley as well. Yeah, like it's just all over. Now that it's spring, I thought it would be a little better, but whatever. You know what? I don't let the weather get me down too much. I will talk about it, but in all honesty, like I said, I was originally going to go downtown for the tour today, so I wanted to walk around and show you guys like the Orpheum and like the outside of the Orpheum and the Fairmont Hotel Vancouver building and talk about that some of that kind of stuff. But then I was like, like I really do love Granville Island for a weather day that's kind of crazy like this. I just thought the market, we could go outside, like in the back of the market, there's tables and stuff where you can sit. And there's just such a spectacular view. So we'll sit here for a couple of minutes and then we'll get up and we'll start walking and we'll head towards the market and go check out some of the items, and I'll pick myself up a few things, and we will enjoy being at Granville Island today. So you want to hear about anything about me, favorite things that I like to do in Vancouver? Well, Granville Island is one of my favorite things to do. I really want to go there. Yeah, it's really cool because Granville Island's not far from the city, but it's far enough that you're away from the hustle and bustle of everything. And it's literally its own community down here on the island. Years ago, they used to have a water park, and in the summer, first out of high school, my best friend and I were nannying for two different families, and we brought the kids down here one day to the water park. Now, the water park is no longer here. They have like a little lagoon and stuff like that now. But it was sure a fun place to come down. Kind of a pain in that if you have to park a car, you don't want to bring a car down. It's super easy to get here on public transit. You take a bus. There's a bus that goes from downtown right over to the island here, which is more of a peninsula, I think, really. But there's also like little water taxis. We call them aqua buses. And they're literally tiny. In fact, I had my nieces one day overnight, the very first time I brought them to my place for a sleepover. And I used to live literally right across the water in the West End district of downtown. And I had a tiny little studio apartment, and they were stuck. My sister-in-law had left my brother, and she was raising these two beautiful little girls on her own. She was working full-time and going to school. And so I said, hey, I'll take the girls this weekend. Nobody has to worry about looking after them. I'll take them for the weekend. I'll bring them downtown. We're going to go swimming. I'll surprise them with a trip to the cupcake store because I love that. And we'll go swimming because I love to swim. And I living there, I was right near the Vancouver Aquatic Center, which is like an Olympic-sized pool. And so I surprised them after we did the trip to the cupcake store and everything. Before we went swimming, we did the aquabus over here to Granville Island. And the girls were like, "Oh, we're going on a boat ride. This is so cool." I'm like, "No, it's like a 3-minute ride, like less than 5 minutes. It's going to be so quick." And the girls got on the aquabus with me, and we're going across the water. And we got to the other side, like I said, super quick. And they were killing themselves laughing. They couldn't walk. They were like 6 and 3 at the time. And they thought it was the funniest thing that they'd gotten on this big little boat to go across the water. And it took like 3 minutes. And at one point I thought they were going to pee themselves. They were laughing so hard. It's like, okay, it's funny, but like the moment is gone. And they tried to pull themselves together to enjoy the market. So silly little girls, Miss Shaylin and Miss Taya. How am I? I am great. I worked at Lego yesterday. I have the whole day off today, which never usually happens. I used to work at Build-A-Bear Workshop. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. So I used to work at Build-A-Bear Workshop, and I don't know if they still do this because I haven't worked there for a few years. But at Build-A-Bear, one of the perks was you got your birthday off with pay. So they literally paid you to take your birthday off at Build-A-Bear. Lego does not do that. It makes me sad. I feel like that's something they should start. But I do have the day off from Lego today. And so I'm a little excited because, I love to travel and I love to save money because I love to save money so I can travel. And I'm so excited because I have all these birthday coupons and discounts and things to use. So I'm just like, ooh, I have the day off. I can do all my coupons. After the tour, I really don't know. I like to have adventures, and when I plan adventure days, I kind of try not to plan it. I just kind of do like, well, here's a bus, let's get on it and see where it goes. I do have a coupon to get a free burger if I purchase $5 worth of stuff. So like one of those unlimited drinks at Red Robin today. So I could end up going downtown. Thank you. And having dinner at Red Robin. But I might do that later. Maybe early enough that I beat the dinner rush and feel like I can sit for a few minutes. But I usually bring a notebook everywhere I go so I can write down my creative things, thoughts, and processes and stuff, tour ideas and whatever. And then I got all the way down here and I took a lift down today because the weather was just crazy. And I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm going to treat myself. So I hopped in a Lyft, Uber, whatever it was that I ordered. And I got in and I realized I had changed bags and I forgot to put my notebook in my bag. So I will have to go home at some point if I'm going to go and sit anywhere and go get my notebook. Or maybe we'll live dangerously and maybe I'll just have to go get a new notebook and a pen today. I don't know. There's probably a pen somewhere in my bag. And I love movies. So I went out for dinner last night. Thank you. I went out for dinner last night with my best girlfriend. And it's really cool because this group of friends are not connected, except they all know me and they all come out to celebrate my birthday once a year. And we added a new member to the group last night. So my friends Tika and Kim and Jen and Amanda all came out. Right? Just keep the day rolling. I know. I should probably do that. So I was super excited because Tika had never come out with us before, and so this was the first time. Right at the moment, I'm literally, I'm at Granville Island. So we're hanging out at Granville Island. We're going to go explore the market. And when we head there, usually I've done a couple of tours down here, and I always head to the right and go around past the hotel and all that. I think today we're going to head left once we get onto the island and do the walk around that way. and see some things and then go head into the market. I love it down here because there's just all kinds of like cool little shops to window shop and things like that. It generally pulls out some stories out of me. Um, I used to work, for those of you who don't know me or don't know me well, I used to work for Rocky Mountaineer, which is the world class luxury train, and I worked there for 5 years. And I had this supervisor who said, I always love to go and hang out with you at the pre-night, at the check-ins before when you're checking in the guests for the train the next day. He was because you have a story for everything. And so I would have guests sit down and, we always, welcome, where are you from? And they would tell me a story, or not tell me a story, they would tell me where they're from, and I would always be able to find a way to connect to where they were from, whether I'd been there or never been there and always wanted to go there. And then I'd ask them, like, if I were to go to your city, like, what's the things to do there and stuff. And just had super fun. He's like, but even if you don't have a connection to the city, he's like, you always have a story to tell. And that's what I kind of always heard about my life is like, I'm the person who, you have a group of coworkers, you go away on vacation, the day before you leave, they're always like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for you to come back because I can't wait to hear all your stories. And it never dawned on me until a little while ago that I actually do have a lot of, like, I am a storyteller. I love to tell stories. Visiting from New Zealand in 2 weeks. I would like a nice coffee. Oh my gosh. Okay, Tess. I have the lowdown on all the coffee spots in Vancouver. What you need to do is, if you're not already, if this is your first tour with me, I have a company I'm starting called Girl on a Bus Adventures, and you can find me on Instagram and on a group on Facebook for Girl on a Bus Adventures. And you can friend me as Co Chitty on Facebook, but first you can find me through my groups and then find my profile. And one of the things I do is I do the coffee shops and history walk tours, and we go through all the cool different coffee shops in Vancouver. I'm doing Steveston this week on Wednesday for Once Upon a Time Day for that TV show. We were in Fort Langley a couple of weeks ago, and one of my things in life is I love to find the cool little coffee shops. There's a coffee shop here. I haven't done it yet for one of my tours, but I will soon, called Platform 7. And it's out on Broadway. So if you're staying downtown, you can take a bus up Granville Street, get off at Broadway, take the 9 or the 99 along Broadway, and go to Platform 7. They have delicious coffee. It's always busy, and it's built to look, the whole ambiance inside is a Parisian train station. Did you not? It's so cool. Downtown Vancouver, you could go to Revolver. There's a cool place called Coffee, spelled Koffee. It's a tiny little place in an old building with a beautiful ambiance right at like Pender and near Pender and Burrard. And then Revolver, there's Timber Train downtown, kind of Gastown-ish. Vancouver, I know Seattle has a name for being like a coffee city, but honest to God, Vancouver is truly a coffee town. We have coffee shops everywhere. If you want to be a real Canadian, you go to Tim Hortons and you order a double, which is a regular coffee with 2 creams, 2 sugar, and then you order a little box of Timbits, which are donut bowls. And that's like the Canadian thing to do in Vancouver. Today I have a latte. Lattes have become my obsession lately. And I do them plain because of the type 2 diabetes. I don't do a lot of sugary stuff, but this time I actually sprinkled a little bit of cocoa and a little bit of cinnamon on top. So it just gives it a little bit of a kick. So I've worked in tourism. I'm starting this whole travel concierge business. I call myself a travel experience concierge. So I'm not going to book your flights for you, but I am able to provide an entire itinerary of really cool things to do in whatever city you're going to. And so I find the off the beaten path stuff. I mix it with a little bit of, like, in my opinion, based on what you tell me about yourself. I will help you find just the cool things that you have this magical experience. And I refer to myself as a purveyor of the magical moment. And so yes, I know about coffee shops. When I go out with my friends, are always like, you pick the restaurant because you know all the cool places and you find the cool stuff. So I'm gonna get myself ready and we're gonna head out for a walk and go explore Granville Island in just a moment. I'm gonna have to put my jacket on. Okay, so I have an umbrella. I have gloves, like the fingerless ones, that keep your knuckles warm, but not the rest, but also it goes over like a mitten in case I get really cold. I have an umbrella, I have gloves, I have a tooth. I almost brought my serious tooth. I have a blanket in case I want to sit outside on the other side of the building of Granville Market. I had to pull out my parka. I had to pull out my leggings that have the fleece inside to stay warm. Like, it is ridiculous, the weather here today. So I'm going to take my tiara off. I'm going to put on my hat, keep my head warm, and we are going to get ready to go out and explore. Um, so while I'm getting ready, I said that today I was doing like a little bit of a fundraiser. If you read the whole write-up on it. My birthday month, I always do a Facebook fundraiser, and I always do it for an organization called Katie's Crops. And this is actually a nonprofit in just outside of Charleston, South Carolina. And you might be like, how on earth did you find this nonprofit in South Carolina, in a different country? So I used to work for Build-A-Bear Workshop, which I've mentioned already. And in 2009, they did, as usual, they had this Huggable Hero program. So Build-A-Bear used to celebrate kids that would do fundraising and volunteer work in their communities to help out their communities. And in 2009, Build-A-Bear Workshop opened it up also to the employees so they could find Build-A-Bear Workshop employees that actually did volunteer work and fundraising and maybe could be like mentors to these kids and just kids in general, the lives we touch every day making bears. So I got nominated by my store, by my manager, who is actually now also my manager at Lego. Love him to death. Actually, he's not even my manager at Lego anymore. He's now the district manager. And so I got nominated and I got selected in 2009. And I got to go all the way to St. Louis to meet Maxine herself, the lady who founded Build-A-Bear. And we were celebrated for 3 days. And we got to meet the 12 other Huggable Heroes. In this case, it was 13. It was a set of twins that won one of them spots. And so they would do workshops for us, and they would have us. We did a service project of painting a mural for the Granville International School in St. Louis. And they fed us all the foods you eat when you go to St. Louis, all the local. So we had deep fried ravioli and lemon ice. It was good. And then our awards dinner was held at the St. Louis Aquarium. And that was pretty amazing. That was an amazing experience. And so we got to know all the other Huggable Heroes and what they do. So one of the girls that just really impressed me, I mean, they all impressed me. There was like little kids who raised money for, what's the correct term? Probably not disabled athletes, but Special Olympics type athletes. This kid was there who had no legs. His parents had to make the decision to either have him in a wheelchair for the rest of his life or like cut off his legs from like, I don't know if it was like the thigh down or the knee down or something. There's kids who raise money, cell phones for soldiers to get gift cards, phone cards for soldiers overseas so they can keep in touch with their family. But this one girl, we're going to start moving now. This one girl, Katie, here, let me flip this around. And we'll start showing you the view. Whoops, that's not working. That's a chair. We don't want to see that. Give me a second to get my backpack on, and we'll get started. So the story with Katie is When Katie was 9 years old, so this is the coffee shop I've been putting in. When Katie was 9 years old at her school, they had this project they did every year with the kids. And they sent them home, there we go, with I guess a package of cabbage or a little cabbage seed. I think they took it home in a little cup and had to look after it. And so Katie took hers home and looked after it. And her little cabbage seed grew into, sorry, the door is really hard to open. Her little cabbage seed grew into a 40-pound cabbage. And she was like, oh my goodness, no one else's cabbage is 40 pounds. What am I going to do? What do you do with a 40-pound cabbage? Okay, let me get this adjusted for being out here. I'm juggling my coffee cup and the gimbal, so forgive me if I'm a little bit, sorry, it's a bit fast. Now I just need to grab my coffee cup. So Katie was like, what do we do with a 40-pound cabbage? Well, what do you do with a 40-pound cabbage? You donate it to a local food program in your community. And she got a really nice thank you letter saying, hey, Katie, thanks so much for the cabbage. We were able to feed 100 people. Actually, let me see if I can get a good shot of this Granville Island sign for you guys. With your 40-pound cabbage, we were able to feed 100 people at the soup kitchen. And so Katie thought about it, still 9 years old, and said, well, hang on a second. Like, if we could feed 100 people with one cabbage, like imagine, here we go, Granville Island. Welcome everybody who's just coming in. We are down at Granville Island, Vancouver. We're celebrating my birthday, and I'm just giving a quick history on the nonprofit that I'm choosing to donate a portion of my tips to today. So Katie got this great idea of, we're going to go in a little closer to get a better, closer picture of the sign. If I can feed 100 people with a 40-pound cabbage, imagine what I could do if I had an entire garden. And so Katie got for school the letter use property, and they made a garden, and she started in and started growing vegetables for all the people in her community and donating to soup kitchens, and ended up getting a grant through Bill Clinton's organization. There we go. Look at that, Granville Island. And then she, through the grant from Bill Clinton's organization, she was able to start sponsoring other kids growing gardens in their communities. There we are, Granville Island. So by the time I met Katie, I think she was like 13 or 14. All right, we're gonna carry on here towards the market. And her goal was to, by the time she graduated high school, she wanted to have a kid growing a garden for their community in every single state in the U.S. So I became Facebook friends with a lot of the Huggable Heroes. And I've stayed in touch with a few of them, including the other employee from Build-A-Bear that kind of won the spot for the United States. I'm going to go back out a bit here so we can see more. And in 2018, my best friend and I decided to do a road trip in the U.S. and we were going to do the Blues Highway. And we knew we were kind of going to go away for X amount of time. We both worked for a Rocky Mountaineer together, and that's how we met and became best friends. And we're like, oh my gosh, this has been a crazy season. We need to get away. Let's do like a 2-week trip. So we're like, well, the Blues Highway can be done in like 5 or 6 days. We're going to go to New Orleans. We're going to like volunteer in New Orleans for a week. What else can we do? And so I said to her, would you mind if we maybe started our trip in Charleston, South Carolina,
And could we, and you don't have to come with me, but I'd like to meet my friend Katie and her mom, because, I mean, let's face it, her mom and I are basically the same, similar ages. And I said, I'd just like to visit with them, but Charleston is really cool. We could do like a horse and carriage ride and hang out and see the city and walk around. They have a French Quarter there too, um, and do whatever. My goodness, this rain. So Rebecca said, hey, yeah, sure, let's do that. So I contacted Katie and her mom, and they picked the restaurant, and we went to a restaurant called 82 Queen Street. And it was in she said it was like a 200 or 300-year-old building. And she told us what we needed to order to kind of keep with, like, what do you eat when you go to Charleston and South Carolina and all this kind of stuff. I'm going to stop here for a second, catch my breath. And so we had a great time catching up. Katie at the time was just finishing college. So I've watched this girl go from this young little thing who grew a 40-pound cabbage and was inspired to help all the way to now, where I am so proud of her, because during the pandemic, if you read the description on my tour today, you would have probably seen this already. During the pandemic, she started doing a free meal for her community once a week. And you could only have 6 people in the kitchen doing all the work, volunteering. They bought containers, packaged up all the food to go. When gas got expensive, she started finding volunteers who could drive meals to get the meals to people, because everything was so hard and so tough. And then it became, after a year of every week, it became a bit of a strain on her business, her company. And so she dropped down to every other week. And it cost her, and then she was feeding 400 people once a week. Now she does it every other week, and they reach 600 people when they do their dinners. And they provide a bag of produce, because there's a whole bunch of gardens in her community now being grown that she helps with. And she has somebody who bakes bread every dinner for all of the guests. And they get if there's enough, if he can do enough, I think he donates like a loaf of bread. So they come by in their car, they pick up however meals they need, 4 meals, 6 meals. They sometimes get a quart of milk, a bag of vegetables, some produce, and whatever else you can conjure up. So maybe a loaf of bread. At Christmas, she tries to do a donation drive for toys for the kids. They do toiletries and stuff. And then on top of that, I know, right? So amazing. On top of it, her little brother was so inspired by what she does that he started a nonprofit to help veterans house their apartments when they finally secure housing. And so he'll show up on moving day with a bed and pillows and sheets and a table and chairs and all this super cool stuff. And then Katie shows up with a bag of produce, and they're just like a super amazing family. So welcome to those of you who've just joined in. We are at Granville Island, and we're just going to head into the market. So we're celebrating my birthday. I was just giving a little bit of background on the charity I've chosen to support, because those are things that are very important to me. I firmly believe in giving back. And for those of you who know me, one of the things I do is I go to New Orleans at least once a year, and I volunteer rebuilding houses for those who are still struggling to come home many, many years later after Hurricane Katrina. In fact, it's my volunteer work in New Orleans that got me the Build-A-Bear Workshop Huggable Hero Award that allowed me to go to St. Louis, where I met Katie from Katie's Trots, who does all these amazing things. So here we are. We're down at Granville Island. We're outside. And we are at Lee's Donuts. Look at that. Donuts. So this is a famous place to get donuts in Vancouver. Sorry, it's not very good here where you can see the windows getting a glare on everything. Thank you. And the chef, David Chang, was here with Seth Rogen, and they were doing a food tour in Vancouver for his show. And they actually came down here to Granville Island, and they bought Lee's Donuts. They always do like a special flavor of the month, too. I like their pink ones. Let me see if I can kind of get in to show you a little bit of the production going on. It's just not a great day for looking in windows. We're getting the glare from everything. Here we go. Oh, thank you, Lorna. Here we are, Lee's Donuts, Granville Island. We're going to head into the market now. We'll see if they have a special donut today. Sneaking around the door is here. Like at Lunar New Year, they usually have a special one. The pink ones, strawberry ice. These are my favorites. It's either been really busy or they're still a little slow on that. We have chocolate ice cream, chocolate mint, and then, Grandma's Special, the powdered sugar and raspberry jelly. We used to call those anthrax donuts when I worked at St. Paul's Hospital because I worked there during SARS pandemic, as brief as it was. And somebody was, I don't know, there was like people sending anthrax in envelopes, and it was just a white powder. And so we were having a staff meeting one day, and every Tuesday we had a staff meeting, and at every staff meeting they ordered donuts, and we all had our favorite ones. So they'd go and pick up like the 12 donuts for the crew, and I always ordered the powdered donuts. And my boss referred to them as anthrax donuts, and so of course that's just kind of stuck. Here we are in the fabulous candy shop here. I have to say, every now and then, especially on a trip, I used to love going to these like candy shops where you can just pick a little bit of everything. And that is one of the little things I miss about being a type 2 diabetic. But I did find a really cool candy store in South Center on my way to the airport. Oh, happy birthday to your wife. Actually, it's also Elton John, Sir Elton John's birthday today. He's my birthday twin. So I love that I have Elton John for a birthday twin. And there's also famous WNBA, the women's basketball player, Cheryl Swoops, has a birthday today. And my friend of mine, Leon Wood, from the NBA and also an NBA referee, also has a birthday today too. So I like to think all the greats in basketball have birthdays today. Me being a local basketball coach, of course. Now, these are not the macarons I'm after today. We will go to the macaron shop. So we're down inside the market here at Granville Island. And I've been telling stories, so I feel like it's time for you guys to maybe ask me another question. What else can I tell you about my life? Here we are at Bon Macaron. I've actually done macaron classes through this shop in another location. So, ooh, we have a gin fizz one today. This is my favorite place in Vancouver to get macarons, is at Bon Macaron. They have all kinds of crazy flavors. Ooh, hazelnut chai, blackberry balsamic. And I'm the kind of person who always likes to try the weird stuff. I love weird things. They have a gummy bear macaron. I think that's new. Oh, and right behind it, coffee, maple caramel. What else they have? Oh, this has me intrigued. They have a dirty cola. What is a dirty cola?
Coca-Cola, lemon, and Coke.
Ooh, this is going to make it very hard to choose today. Yeah, just one of each, right? Yeah. Well, they do freeze, so. I'm gonna get some. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll do a 6-pack today. The truffle and pink salt. I hope you guys don't mind me ordering on here. Yes, I know. I've had it before. It is lovely. Yeah. We'll do a goat cheese and beetroot and honey. That dirty cola for sure. Gotta try that. Then let's do a pear, passion fruit, and elderflower. What am I at now? Is that 4? A ginger honey, and hang on a second. Does anybody on my tour have an idea of anything they've seen that I should maybe order today for my last one? I'm not seeing any responses yet. You know what? I think I will. Chocolate hazelnut. You know what? I think I'm actually going to go for the rhubarb vanilla. And then when they're all different colors, they're easier to remember what they are too. Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. That's good to know. Hey, I'm learning things today, guys. Thanks for being part of this tour.
Can I put the 2 savory ones on the front for you? Okay?
Perfect. That's amazing.
Just a little paper bag.
No, I'm just going to pop it in my backpack. Thank you. Okay, and I'll need a receipt today. All right. So let me just I'm going to do this in steps here. I'll give you guys something to look at while I pay here. And aw, thank you. It's my birthday, so that's like my birthday present. There we go. Awesome. Just about there, guys. And I'm going to keep going on with the tour. Awesome. Here we are. And I'm just going to put the camera down for a sec, guys. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was trying to pay attention as well as do this. Okay. Yeah, this machine is pretty slow. Oh, yeah. I hear that. There's nothing worse than slow technology. Well, only technology that doesn't work very well at all. I'm so used to my other card with tap that I left it at home.
You can tap with this one if you want.
This one doesn't tap though. I had it removed just for
Security reasons.
Yeah. This is my main account that pays the rent and the bills. So the other account is kind of like my fun money. So yes, I do. Yes, and I'm gonna just take a moment here. So I'm just gonna put the camera this way so they're looking at something interesting. Thank you. All right. You're welcome. Thank you. All right, guys, we are gonna head outside. Oh, thanks, Dan. We are gonna head outside here to the market towards the back. We'll wind our way through the market, and we're gonna go look at the fabulous, fabulous view. Now you've seen my favorite macaron shop. They actually have a whole store down here on the island that is their main bakery, and that's where they hold their classes. So if you're ever visiting Vancouver, you can actually go on Bon Macaron's website and see if they're doing classes. I think it's honestly about $100 to do a class. You're there for like 4 hours and you go home with a few dozen macarons. They take you through the whole thing. You actually make it and they guide you through it all. And it's just an overall amazing experience. It's actually one of the things I did, believe it or not, during the pandemic. Because they would do small class sizes. It got me out of the house. And it was just super fun. Okay, we have live music. It's a bit louder than I would like. So here is all of the little aqua buses and ferries that I was talking about earlier. And they just go around the harbor. So here in Vancouver at the harbor, this is the Burrard Street Bridge above us. And the little aqua buses go to Granville Island here. To my left, we have the the Museum of Vancouver out a bit. You may or may not be able to see it. At the very end of the False Creek here, there is Science World, and they go to Science World as well. And then they have a stop across the water here as well, just on the other side over there, so you can get to downtown Vancouver. And I think you can buy a pass, and there's 2 different companies that do it. There's the other little buses right there in the middle of the screen, and they all just hop around the harbor, the False Creek area all day, and it's a good way to kind of, just a fun and different way to get around the city if you're just wanting to do some tourism stuff. I know that the tour guide, Dan King, was maybe talking about doing a tour from one of these one day. Then I was like, oh, I might steal his idea. He's in Nanaimo. I'm here in Vancouver. Is this where the best burger? Oh, yeah, shoot. Yes. So right back here, see where it says the MG? That's the Market Grill. So just inside, sorry, I forgot. I knew I was going to do that. And then I got excited telling you stories because I do that. The Market Grill is literally inside. I'll do a walkabout here. And if you have a little minute later, maybe I'll pop inside. But it's the Market Grill. And you can get like veggie burgers, chicken burgers, beef burgers, fries. I think it's the kind of place where you buy the burger and the fries, I think, separately, but the burgers are so good and so big that you could easily split fries between 2 people. I'm going to take this view back out a bit. Here we go. Hey, it's trying to be sunny. So oh wait, This is the Burrard Street Bridge. I'm excited and I'm losing my mind. The one behind us is Granville Street. So that's Burrard Street Bridge. Um, I used to live, I can't see my old building at the moment, but where the buildings first start to be high rises at the end of the bridge there, I used to live in that area. And at night, I lived in a little studio apartment, and at night I could see the Burrard Street Bridge, and it would be all lit up, and it would be just so pretty at night. So pretty. There's like apparently a secret staircase in one of those columns, and they had it open. They built it, but nobody knows why they built it. And then they closed it off at the top of the bottom, so nobody can actually get in or out, which is so bizarre. And now I'm like, but I just need to know why they made a stairwell in there. Like, why? Why? There's got to be a reason. And things like that, those are the things that keep me awake at night. Here we go. So that is downtown Vancouver, the south end of downtown Vancouver, all mostly residential. As we get to the other side of the Granville Street Bridge, that is more where Expo 86 happened. I was 16 at the time, so now you can do the math and figure out how old I turned today. Expo 86 was fantastic. My dad worked at BC Hydro, the electric company at the time, and he bought us all season passes. So bored on the weekends, head down to Expo 86. We got to go on field trips for my science and technology class to Expo 86. It was super cool. Not everybody can say things like that. I do often when I'm posting things, I'll do hashtag charmed life because in all honesty, like, thank you, Catherine. I feel like I live a pretty charmed life. I get to do a lot of really amazing stuff. You were 19. You're a little bit ahead of me there, girl. um, I've had some amazing experiences. I've done some cool stuff. I've worked hard to have some great accomplishments in my life and do cool things. I believe in helping others, and if you're having success, bringing people along with you, and just feel that, yeah, I guess, I don't know, maybe you could call me a do-gooder. I don't really like that title, but I do all these things. I volunteer at art festivals here in Vancouver and stuff like that, because that's the kind of stuff that lets me lay my head down at night and sleep well. And I love meeting people. I'm totally an extrovert, so the pandemic was super hard for me for a whole host of reasons, just like it was hard for everybody, but all in a different way. I didn't work for 6 weeks. I literally didn't leave the house, and I had a crazy roommate at the time. And when I say crazy, guys, I mean she was crazy. And so it was really hard for me to be an introvert and be home. Music saved me through the pandemic. I found all these new artists that I loved, and they would do shows and concerts. Every day there was a concert for me to log on and attend online, by somebody. And those are the things that literally got me through the pandemic. Aw, thank you, Catherine. Thanks for being here today. I really appreciate it. I hope you had fun and have a fabulous rest of your day. Thanks for joining in today. So I'll just get you a different view here. There's this apartment building that I think is hilarious because one of the first tours I did down here, I didn't even notice, but somebody was like, "Oh my gosh, is that a cruise ship?" And when I take the bus to work from my apartment, I go on the number 9 bus along Broadway. And when I got off at Cambie and Broadway, there's a great thoroughfare way that goes all the way down to the water, and I can literally see this building, and it, honest to God, looks like it's a cruise ship leaving out of the middle of downtown Vancouver. So I'm trying to kind of get over there to see if I can show you kind of what I mean here on the island. It feels like it's warming up a bit too, which is fabulous. Or maybe I'm just warmer from walking. down here you can kind of get the idea of what I'm talking about, because I know I can't get through the whole way, but let me get out of the way of these poles. So if you can kind of imagine um, the building right ahead of us that's on an angle, if you were front facing that, we just can't get there today. It looks like it's the front of a cruise ship, and it does look like it's kind of emerging out of Vancouver. I just can't quite literally physically get to the right area. And here we are, down even closer to all the little boats. I used to live at Cambie and 64th. My mother grew up at Fraser, 64th and Fraser. So here we are, quite a spectacular little area. This is another separate little market. So all these buildings down here are actually, the majority of them are from old warehouses and factories that used to produce stuff for World War II, like big ropes and chains, um, things for, I'm sorry, I'm not very technical, things for boats and the war, stuff like that. And so they kept all the old buildings. You can see it's like corrugated steel. Let me show you that. There you go. And so these were all like old factories and things. And in, I think just before Expo 86, so somewhere around 1982 or 84, they actually had this land was all empty for about 10 or 15 years. Oh, I want to be that kid sitting in the middle of an ice cream cone. That would be amazing. That would be a good birthday thing. Um, I'm silly, I know. So anyways, it all was sitting empty because all the industry shut down. And so then they had nothing to do with the space. Lots of indigenous art down here on Granville Island. This was before it became even factories. This was indigenous land, and they did do fishing, and there was berry picking and things like that happened down here. In fact, people used to actually bring tents and camp down here before there was hotels and things like that. So a lot of history down here on Granville Island. Oh, we have some pretty spring flowers here as well. Let's take a look at that. There we go. These are quite pretty today. Sun is shining on them a little bit as well, which is lovely. Maybe I'll end up with some good weather today. Oh, maybe we can get a little better look at this building down here. I didn't realize I could get all the way through here. Oh, we've got people boating. Dragon boating is huge here, and there's a big festival every year in June. And it's actually, we have one of the largest dragon boat festivals in North America here in Vancouver. Maybe that gives you a little better idea. So if you were front facing this building, I think you can see how it would totally look like a cruise ship. What indigenous territory? Sorry, what indigenous territory does Vancouver sit on? Vancouver sits on. There's Musqueam. There's three. Squamish. Oh, I can't remember the third off the top of my hat. Musqueam, Squamish, and there's one other one that a lot of people refer to now when we do when I do my training for my new job in a couple of weeks. They'll do the whole paying tribute to the indigenous lands, and they'll go all through all three of them. And I can't remember what the third one is. It's a little bit harder to pronounce. I actually had to go to YouTube to find out. Oh, Western Boot Shop. Is that Cowgirl Boots? Most likely, we love our country stuff if you're out in the valley. We do the Cloverdale Rodeo every year, which is huge um, for Vancouver area. Ooh, pink cowgirl hats. There is an OK boot shop as well down in Gastown. Oops, it's a little uneven here. There we go. And yes, they do have cowboy boots here. See, they've got kids ones, if you can see inside, and they've got them all along the back wall as well, but I'm getting a glare from the sunshine that's decided to show up now. They're literally, Granville Island has a little bit of everything. I've said to a lot of people that in Vancouver, if you want to find some interesting tour souvenirs, I guess is what you call them, to bring home, um, I would head down here to Granville Island because you have art galleries, craft shops, local artisans. Right here, we've got the silk weaving studio. Um, there's just all kinds of little shops around the island that sell really cool. I mean, yeah, you can go into Gastown and you can buy your, t-shirts that, have a big Canadian flag on them and a bear and a mountie or whatever, which is fine. I mean, for those of you, if that's your thing, and great. It all goes into our local economy and helps everything. Here's a quilt shop. Um, but if you're looking for some people like to buy one thing from a city that reminds them of the city that's maybe like more than a t-shirt. And I would come down here to Granville Island. Maybe you want something unique that not everybody else has. This is definitely your spot to come down here and do that. There's lots of restaurants down here. We have a brewery. In fact, the very first microbrewery in Vancouver was the Granville Island Brewery, and they were doing small batch and microbrew down here long before anybody else was. And one of the things they used to do was um, a maple flavored beer. And at the time, I worked down at St. Paul's Hospital, and I learned that if you drank beer, then the bosses would pay for your drinks. But if you were like a wine drinker, or you liked a good rum and coke, then you were kind of on your own. So I learned to drink beer, and I used to drink the maple beer just so the bosses would pay for my after work drink. City of Vancouver acknowledges that it is situated on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and yes, Tsleil-Waututh nations. Yes, thank you so much for that. I knew it was like a hyphen, and I knew Tsleil was part of it, but I couldn't remember the second part. And I'm the kind of person who I wouldn't want to say something. I'd rather say nothing than say something and kind of botch it up, if that makes sense. Maybe that's not the right way to do it, but thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's amazing for doing that for me. I do appreciate it when people help me out with things like that. I try to do all my research, but also if you've been here since the beginning, um, today was kind of like, where am I going? What am I doing? And I was like, well, if I end up needing to go somewhere that's undercover, I know a fair bit about Granville Island and can do that without having to review notes. So I wasn't sure how many questions you guys are going to ask me. Okay, thanks, Nicole. Thanks for being here today. Here we are. This is a shop called Rhinoceros. So I was like, I can do downtown Vancouver and I can do Granville Island without having to review notes, because this is all stuff I talked about when I worked as a destination host for Rocky Mountaineers. So I know it all like the back of my hand. And so, yeah, it's just kind of fun and easy, but sometimes I do forget little bits of information. All right. Questions? Yes, you can ask me questions because this is if you happen to read my write-up, it's my birthday celebration today and I'm answering questions. If you have anything you wanted to know about me, I'll answer the ones that are appropriate. And we'll hang out here for a little bit, but we are going to get going soon. But if you have a question you've always wanted to know about me because you've been on some of my tours before, or maybe you just stumbled upon me, go ahead and ask. We'll hang out here. I know there's lots of amazing tours on Hago today. Amazing. Dan King's in Seattle. I know at some point Patrick has one. The New York City guys have them. When I looked for a time slot, I was like, holy, where am I going to do my tour? What time slot? I think, is it Anna has a tour today as well? So I honestly super appreciate all of you who came out today and have helped me celebrate my birthday. Today is my actual birthday day. In case Tess is still here, I'm going to go back in and find the market grill for her and show her that. Gotta find an entrance that isn't by the donut shop, which is always very, very popular. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Tess is still here. Awesome. All right. I'm gonna put figured out I can get my coffee in my pocket, and that leaves my other hand free to open doors for myself. There we go. So also down here at the market, we have lots of fun stuff. There's like chocolate shops and baked goods and like restaurants. There's a fish and chip spot that's pretty good. Vancouver is known for its seafood, salmon, things like that. You come to Vancouver, like I said, you got to have a double Tim Hortons coffee and Timbits because that's the Canadian thing to do. Market Grill, where are you? This way. Nope, wait, wrong part. That's where the food court kind of is. I'm pretty sure the market. Maybe back this way. More candy. There we go. Aw, thank you, Tess. Thank you. You know, so far I'm having a pretty amazing weekend, I gotta admit. I got to go out with my friends last night. I will find this mark. Ah, there it is, straight ahead. I knew I was heading in the right direction. So anyways, I was out with my friends last night, my best gal friends. And then today I'm kind of on my own. My sister just got back from Australia, so they're jet lagged and stuff. Here we are. Here is the Market Grill. And I'll show you the menu. So my birthday dinner with my family is, here, let me go out a little bit. Tomorrow night, I have a day off from work, which is unusual for me. Normally I'm working 3 jobs and I'm working like super busy. Ah, you're welcome, Lee. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this maneuvered into the right spot for the photo and trying to get some of the glare out of there. There we go. Well, I think that's the best I can do. At the very top, there's like a beef burgers in the left column, chicken burgers in the middle, and hot dogs on the right. I have had the black and blue burger, the California burger, and the Cajun burger here. And yes, it is oh, okay, I was wrong. All burgers come with fries or Caesar salad. There you go. For some reason, I thought this was the kind of place where you had to order it separately. And I'm just going to show you real quick. I don't want to make anybody angry. But there is actually like a bit of a line to order burgers for today. That's all I'm going to show you. I don't want to make enemies on my birthday today. And then down here we have the stock market, which is where I like to stop sometimes and pick up things like butter, because they have like the white truffle butter here, fresh herb, and it's kind of fun to just get like a little treat for myself, because I love a good grilled cheese sandwich, and when you make it with like white truffle butter, it's amazing. Yes, Joyce, burgers and fries. This is one of my favorite spots to get a burger here in Vancouver. And then when I was looking for a place to do my birthday dinner last night, I found another restaurant that's really cool, but they said they're very noisy on the weekends, and I wanted somewhere where I could go sit and have a good chat, a good chin wag with the gals. So I didn't go, but I think it's Romero's Burger Bar, or Romer's, but I'm pretty sure it's Romero's Burger Bar. And their menu is basic, but really good. Obviously they do burgers. They have like everything in Vancouver always has like a vegetarian, vegan option, chicken, beef, all of that. But what also really I liked about it, it's down around 4th Avenue and Burrard, which is a great little eclectic shopping area. But they had a really good dessert menu. And you're probably like, I thought you have type 2 diabetes. When I do go out for dinner socially, I will sometimes have dessert, because you have to enjoy life no matter what. And they had on their menu, if I remember correctly, they had key lime pie, cheesecake, and mini donuts on their dessert menu at this burger bar. So yeah, cannot lie, that's a good spot. So if you're hopping on just now, we are getting to the end of my celebration birthday tour. I'm going to probably log off in a couple of minutes. I'm going to head back out of the market here. And again, any tips that I get today, a portion of it is being donated to Katie's Crops down in Charleston or Somerville, South Carolina. And I have a personal connection to this amazing little charity that was started by a 9-year-old girl who grew a 40-pound cabbage. So if you were here earlier, you heard the story. I'm not going to go over it again. Romer's Burger Bar or Romero's. I think it's Romer's. I don't know. Something like that. If you Google that, you'll definitely find it. So it's a tradition for me in the month of March, for my birthday month. I always do a Facebook fundraiser, and I always support Katie's Crops with it. And so this month, all of the tours I do on Hagel, a portion of them, of my tips, will all go to Katie's Crops. And one of the cool things is she does these dinners in her community every other week for about 600 people. And when she was doing them for 400 people, it was costing her about $450 to put on one dinner. And so honestly, maybe next year, I don't know, I would actually like to go out to Somerville, which is where Katie's from, and actually volunteer and help prepare the dinner. I'd also like to do some sort of little kind of awareness. Maybe we'll go help in the garden, or like go check out her gardens or something. I'd like to do a tour around it. Thank you so much, Janet. And then I'd like to somehow raise the funds to actually sponsor one of Katie's dinners, maybe the dinner while I'm there. So I'm kind of formulating that plan. So if you're one of my followers, I'll say that I am so honored to have a great group of followers. I appreciate every single one of you. You guys are friends, even though I can't see your faces. I see your names on my tours, and it just makes me smile. And so do indeed follow along with me. I want to definitely go do something in Charleston, South Carolina, and help Katie with one of her dinners next year in my birthday month. And yeah, I always want to have the opportunity for people to do cool things alongside me and give people credit. So hopefully I'll be able to figure out a plan and we can go check out maybe even Charleston together next March, who knows, or next spring. And we're going to start winding down today's tour. Thank you, because I'm going to go do some birthday stuff. Like I said, I'm excited. I have coupons and discounts and dollars off to go spend places today. So I'm totally, thank you, going to take the opportunity to maybe like go to Red Robin and have my free birthday burger. I know I have a free drink at Timmy's, so I'll go get a new coffee after this. I think I get a baked good at Starbucks. I have $10 to spend at London Drugs. I don't know. The possibilities are endless, as they say. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I started off the day with, just so you're not worried that I'm not having cake, I had a Ferrero Rocher chocolate cream puff with my latte this morning at the Blue Hat Bistro, which is at the Pacific Institute of Culinary Arts down here on Granville Island. And maybe we'll walk over and get some scenery in behind me for a parting shot. And I hope you guys have all had fun today hanging out with me. I got to answer some questions. I got to tell you some stories, maybe a little bit about my life. You got to know me, I hope, a little bit better today. You got to hear about Katie's Crops, the nonprofit I'm supporting through tips today. Passion play at Rock Hill. I've been to Charleston once and loved it. But I want to go back and see more, and I think there's definitely room to do some cool tours down there. It's kind of fun now because now that I'm a guide and I'm really kind of feeling like I'm getting into it, now I just plan vacations around where could I go and do some really cool tours, but that I also want to go see. So speaking of that, watch out because I am headed to Atlanta in June because I'm crazy. I'm going for 3 days, 2 nights, and I'm really going because I want to go see the Brooks and Dunn concert. Oh, thank you, Tess. Aw, thank you. Here we go. Here's a little better view behind me. So I'm going to head to Atlanta for the Brooks and Dunn concert. I've already designed 3 tours that I can do for you guys to show you around. We're going to check out Castleberry Hill. We're going to check out Mary Mac's Tea Room somehow. And we're going to go see all the Martin Luther King tribute stuff as well. Did I hurt my leg? Yeah, I had a pinched nerve for 2 months. And that was not fun. I literally went to a movie and was fine and went to stand up and couldn't stand up and ended up with a pinched nerve that took 2.5 months to get over. So I'm still kind of like, just at the I still have physio once every couple of weeks. And the weather changing can wreak havoc on my body a little bit because I also have like arthritis in my lower back. Whatever, it's life. We all have our little ailments, and as Anne of Green Gables, I would say we have our cross to bear, we have our penance, we have our plagues and things like that. It was actually December 26th that the whole pinched nerve thing happened. I know because I went to go see a movie on Boxing Day, And so movies are the way that I kind of relax and recharge. And I was like, oh, here I am. I'm good. This is great. I can't even remember what movie I saw. And then I stood up and I was like, hang on a second. I can't even put my foot down. Like, this is so painful. And it took me about half an hour to walk about 100 meters to get to the bus stop. And then I took the bus halfway home and got one of our little Evo cars. Evo, like, right here. These Evo cars, you can actually rent by the minute. So you sign up, give them your like driver's abstract, blah, blah, blah. It's like 49 cents a minute. You pick up a car, you have half an hour to reserve it. And you can take it for 5 minutes. You can take it for an hour and a half, 24 hours, and it's 49 cents a minute, or they have an hourly rate. You can just do whatever. So I actually found a car at a like very near a bus stop, got off the bus, got into a car and drove myself home, found a parking spot in front of my building, and then took forever to hobble up 3 flights of stairs to my apartment. So yes, I am doing really well. I have an amazing physiotherapist um, that has helped me do great things and heal quickly. And so I'm just at the tail end of it. Most days I'm okay. Today it's a little bit sore, but it also could be the temperature as well with my arthritis. But whatever. Yeah, Evo cars. It's like so fantastic. I think it's like 18 or $19 for an hour. So I actually go and do like a grocery run to Walmart. And I save so much money by going to Walmart that not only do I pay for the rental with the money I save, but I still save usually like another 20, 25 bucks. So that's another one of my budget tips. One day I want to do like a whole um, Hago or something on budget tips and how I manage to travel a lot and do all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of people don't really, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, and this is not aimed at any of you, just don't really know how to watch their money or use it wisely, or like there's just simple things you can do to cut things out or change things around and save yourself a little bit of money. And I have this belief, which is why I'm starting my own company, that um, everybody can afford to go on vacation. And I don't mean everybody can afford to go away for 3 months. I mean, like, whether your idea of a vacation, maybe you've never taken a weekend to go somewhere, or even like an overnight trip, maybe a staycation in your own city. But everybody deserves a little break every now and then. And I want to help people. Oh, cool. Norway Theater Company, Rockville, South Carolina. I'll look out for that. And so I kind of want to help people live out their dreams and have a vacation, whether it's going to Paris or, um, you know, going to Victoria for overnight. Like whatever it is, I want to help people have these magical moments and do fabulous things and just enjoy life because, we're only here once and let's make it worthwhile and all that fabulous stuff. And I'm a firm believer that everybody should have magical moments in their life. And that's one of the things I love about being a tour guide is I can take you guys to places that maybe you're just not able to go. So if you can all live vicariously through me, then that's great too. Yeah. Aw, thank you, Lorna. And that's one of the cool things is like being a tour guide, I get to like, I don't know, I guess have an impact on people or inspire people or motivate people. And that's one of the reasons I coached basketball was I coached girls basketball so that I could empower and motivate and inspire young girls to just go out and smash dreams and be who they want to be. And I've always said to people, like, don't ever let no be an answer. Like, if there's something in your heart you truly want to do, then you need to just do it with all your might. And um, one example is a friend of mine wanted to be a teacher and she did her interviews and everything. And they were like, you're not cut out to be a teacher. You're not. You need to change this. You need to change that. You're too this. You're too that. And I was like, Tina, don't you let them tell you no. If you believe in your heart that this is what you're meant to be, then just go for it. And let me tell you, it took her longer to get through school than anybody else. She had rough days, good days, great days, bad days, horrible days. And you know what? She's a teacher now. Yep. And has been for a couple of years. And I just, if there's anything I can do to support my friends, my community, then that's what I want to do. I just think we're all here and meant to do great things, right? Nobody's here by accident, no matter what. And we all need to just live out our lives and enjoy it and do some good while we're here. And so I guess you've learned a lot about me today. Yeah, I'm gonna get going soon and carry on with celebrating my birthday. But honestly, like, I got up this morning, one of my big brothers called me to say hello. We had a good little chat, then he went off to walk the dog. And then I got ready to come down here and do the tour. And right up until the last minute, I still wasn't like totally sure where I was going for the tour. Exactly. Go through life together. We're all in this together. And so now I've got to, an hour and a half. I've been hanging out with you guys for an hour and a half today and having a blast. This has been a great way to spend my birthday. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is what I'm going to do every birthday from now on. We'll do a tour in the morning. And then I'm going to go, I don't know, do some stuff today, go hang out, use up all those coupons and things like that, and maybe do a little brainstorming, maybe catch a movie, go for dinner. Who knows? The day is young. But again, I'm just going to, starting to rain again. My gosh, I've had hail, I've had sun, I even have a blanket in my backpack because I wasn't sure if I was going to need to wrap myself up at one point. It's so cold. I did get my macarons, so maybe I'll save those in case I go to a movie later. And I definitely need more coffee because, birthdays, coffee, it's a thing. I didn't get to wear a tutu today because I had to wear my camouflage leggings that are polar fleece lined. But I'm wearing I don't know if you can see it here, my favorite Marilyn Monroe sweater where she's wearing a tutu. So I'm not wearing a tutu, but she's got one on today. I had my tiara on earlier, but I needed to put my hat back on. And look at that, we got a little bit of blue sky in the background there, just a tiny little bit, but I'll take it. So thank you so much. And my usual spiel is, if you are able to and have the means, tips are always appreciated. And like I said, portion of today's are going towards Katie's Cross down in Somerville outside of Charleston, South Carolina, to support the amazing work that this young lady, who is now in her early 20s, she just graduated from the university a couple of years ago, doing amazing things, supporting her. And if tips aren't something you're able to do, because we're all in different situations, then the next and equally best thing you can do is leave a positive review. Maybe mention something you loved, maybe talk about some of the things you've mentioned today about me, loving my heart or the way I do things you've learned from me. Those all help other people want to take my tours. And we've got Atlanta coming up in June to look forward to. So definitely follow me if you haven't already. I saw that some of you have followed me today. And I've got tours coming up this week. I'm doing the one in Houston to celebrate Once Upon a Time Day. So maybe that's what I'm going to do today. A little more research for that one. And I just am about to start a new job in a couple of weeks, but don't worry, still leaves room for tours. I always work 3 jobs plus my tours. We're all good. Nothing can take me away from my tours. I love it. And thank you, David. With that, I am going to say goodbye. Again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here on my birthday today to celebrate with me. I hope the rest of you have an awesome day. And hopefully I've kept true to my word and been a purveyor of some magical moments for you today. And if you want to go join my Girl on a Bus adventure groups in Facebook, and follow me on Instagram. And that's a way to keep in touch, see what's going on. I'm always posting tours there, as well as, of course, follow me on Hago. And with that, my fabulous friends, I'm going to say goodbye and have a blessed day wherever you are in this fabulous world. And I will talk to you later. And now it's really starting to rain. So thanks so much for celebrating my birthday with me. And I will see you all soon on another tour. Have a fabulous day.